shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Jo here with SportsGrid. Thanks for joining me for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. We've got a light slate today on the ice after a big day yesterday. We've only got 2 games today, and we're going to break each and every single one of these down. Happy Wednesday, Matt. Happy Wednesday to everyone out there. So let's jump straight into it. All odds are from FanDuel, and if you're looking to just jump to the recap, I will post the time of the recap at the end of the show. But again, light slate, it should be a quick show here, but how often do we do things really quick? That's for sure. The New York Rangers taking on the Buffalo Sabres. We're going to get into this game. It's a bad spot for both of these teams, how they've been performing as of late. We know all the issues with the New York Rangers, but not really what the problem is with this team. This team on paper, it's such a better team here than the Buffalo Sabres, but can I trust the New York Rangers? Hell no. And then you look at the Buffalo Sabres, and this team themselves can't buy a win out there. They're plus 118 on the money line at home, minus 142 for the New York Rangers. Value-wise, it has to be the Sabres here. For me, I do like their forward units, and I do think they're going to be able to put those goals up on the board. Defensively, they're able to get those turnovers. So you look here at the Rangers, and yes, they have been able to score some goals in some of these losses that they've had, but this team just isn't jiving out there. You want me to lay juice on them on the road? Could they get the win? Absolutely, but I just can't get behind the Rangers in this situation. One thing we've seen out of the Buffalo Sabres, they've got up first in a lot of these games, and they've absolutely shot themselves in the foot letting these games go. So if you want to look at the Buffalo Sabres in the first period, I don't hate it out here. Total of a 6.5. So that 6.5 is juiced to the under at minus 134 to the under and plus 110 to the over. Again, minus 142 here for the Rangers, plus 118 for the Buffalo Sabres on the money line. Igor Shesterkin is expected here for the Rangers. Now, he's got a 2.95 goals against average and a 910 save percentage. He has had solid numbers, and excuse me for my phone beeping away here. Trying to turn off that sound as we talk. And then Lankican expected here for the Buffalo Sabres. Now, he's 8-7-3 with a 2.82 goals against average and a 902 save percentage. He's got really good numbers. One thing with the Sabres is they're allowing those goals, especially at home. You've got a goals against average on this team at 3.47 at home. When we look at their last 4 games, those shots their defense is allowing on their goaltender, it's just not strong enough defensively for me to back this team either, because they're allowing 32.8 shots on goal. If the Rangers are able to connect, they have every opportunity of winning it. But again, I just don't like a side in this. If I'm going to take one, it would be the Buffalo Sabres, just because we're getting plus money. They are 8-6-3 at home this season, sitting 7th in the Atlantic, 4th in the Metro still for the New York Rangers. Now, when we look at present matchups between these two, the Buffalo Sabres did school the Rangers back on the 7th, winning that 6-1. I'm going to look at this game to be more defensive for both of these teams, but still go over that total. I'm looking for those defenses to go, okay, we need to smarten up. We need to give the protection to our goaltending, but I still don't see it coming in. So I will take this one to the over. I think that first period is a higher scoring first period, going over 1.5. The over 1.5 in the first period coming in at minus 130, and both teams to score in the first period at plus 164. Now, when we can count on a player, that's who we got to look at. And for the New York Rangers, it is Panarin right now. Panarin for the assist is coming in at minus 125. 22 assists in 29 games against the Buffalo Sabres. So this is a team that he is getting those assists on. He also, you look at him for his goals as of late. In the last 10, he's got 5 goals and 5 assists. So the anytime goal coming in at plus 155, The assist coming in at minus 125. If you just want to take him for 2+ points, because I do lean for this to be more offensive driven, even though I think the defense has tried to lock down, you could look at him for the 2+ points. I think that is a solid way to go. Again, 5 goals, 5 assists in the last 10. And when we look at him versus the Buffalo Sabres, he's been able to record 22 assists in 29 games. Now, Chris Kreider has been getting those shots on goal, and with Buffalo at home allowing those shots to come raining in at average of 32.8 in their last 4, I would look at Chris Kreider for his shots on goal. Now, you have to take him for 3+ shots on goal. That's coming in at minus 114 before you're getting any value. He has been able to hit this over in 4 of his last 6. So if you want to look at him to continue to get those shots, I would take it up to 4+ for that plus money. I wouldn't take it much higher than that. And we have seen Panarin getting those shots on goal as well. In that last game out in their loss to the Chicago Blackhawks on a Monday at home, that was a 2-1 loss. Panarin had 7 shots on net. He was just struggling to light the lamp. And I talk about the faith in this team and the lack of trust. They're 2-8 in the last 10 games, you guys. They've dropped the last 2, with that last loss being to the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1. So, it's not a place I want to lay juice on this team. If you're looking at the other side for the Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson has been phenomenally strong. 15 goals and 7 assists on the season. He has 6 goals in his last 10 games. Tage Thompson to come out here nice and strong and get us the goals plus 150. You've also got Jason Zucker. Don't forget about him. 7 goals and 13 assists on the season. So I would be looking there as well. Yeah, the Rangers are wheeling. This is a stay away for me. I agree with you. You're going to ride with Tage Thompson and stay away. Like, just look at props in this one, you guys. Which team can you trust? The only way I could trust the Sabres is because they're at home and you're getting plus money. But this is a team that's lost their last 7. They had a loss in a shootout to the Red Wings. That was on Monday. High-scoring game. They were able to put up those goals. They got ahead. And this is kind of the opportunity, I think, if you do like the Rangers, look for the Buffalo Sabres again in that first period to come out strong, and then the Rangers to fight their way back. Even if the Sabres get the first goal, that minus 142 for the New York Rangers will drop to either a minus 110 or plus money value there for them, and then you can live bet them in that situation, because laying any juice here on the Rangers seems ridiculous. But Buffalo has lost their last 7, and they keep falling apart in these games, their defense giving up those goals. The next game and the last game on the board, Victor going with maybe the Senators on the puck line. This Ducks team is so incredibly strong on the puck line. They're just able to hang in these games. John Gibson expected for them. You look at the Ducks, and they did win the last meeting. That was on the first 4-3. So when we look at the Ottawa Senators, they have been kind of free-falling right now. They're off the loss to the Islanders 4-2, and they won a couple games prior. It's the Senators need this win. The Senators' schedule is so hard looking ahead. So they have a Friday game versus the Carolina Hurricanes. They then return home Saturday versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then they have 9 games on the road, which takes us across the holiday break. So this team has struggled on the road. They need to pick up these points at home. You look at them at home, 8-6-1 at home on the season, 5th in the Atlantic. Out on the road, they've gone 4-7-1. It's a really hard spot for them to win in. And then with a look ahead of the Canes on the road on Friday, 1 more game at home, and then 9 games to finish out the year on the road, it's a really tough situation for this team. Now, the caution, though, here is it's a hard spot. They want to get this win. They've got a hard schedule ahead of them. They should give it their all, but this Ducks team has had their number. So, like I said, they won on December 1st, 4-3. Now they've won 3 in a row versus the Ottawa Senators. So they've added that depth to the blue line, getting Trouba out there on the ice as well. Now, Trouba made his debut in that last game versus Montreal. They did lose that one. It was 3-2, I believe, lost to the Montreal Canadiens. But Trouba, he did come out nice and strong. So Trouba giving them that added defense. And then when we look here at the Ducks on the road, that's where their defense has held strong. Now, I know John Gibson not as strong as Dostal, but I do still have faith in Dostal, and I have faith in this defense to really clamp down on the Ottawa Senators. I'm looking for a lower scoring defensive battle between these two. When you look at the Ducks out there on the road, they are giving up only 2.36 goals per game. on the road this season. This is the first night of a back-to-back for them. They have the Leafs on deck tomorrow. This is the Ducks team that they don't look ahead to any of these games. They need to win the game right in front of them each and every single night. So give me a lower scoring game. I think that's the best bet in this. Under 6.5 is juicy though, minus 134. Let's just see what the first period under 1.5 is, which can be a scary situation when these goalies are a little cold out there on the ice, but it could see only one goal in that first period. Under 1.5 in the first period coming in at plus 102. It is a scary situation. No goal in the first 10 minutes is only plus 118. Not enough value there for me, but I do think Allmark has looked really solid in net as of late for the Ottawa Senators, and I think he's going to have a solid night here versus the Anaheim Ducks. And we just keep it under. Now, because I'm liking the under, I wish I could say I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Ottawa Senators. Laying the 1.5 with the Ottawa Senators plus 100. I understand anyone who gets there, but with how the Ducks have won the last 3 meetings, with how they looked in that last game, and it was a tight battle between those two, I still think the Ducks plus 1.5 minus 122. I think this one has the opportunity of going to overtime, and that is why I'm looking there, even though I'm looking at the under 6.5. I think this is 2-2 going into overtime. Just let me give you those overtime odds because I'm drawing a blank on what they were here. So under popular over on FanDuel, if you scroll all the way down to the overtime, it's coming in at plus 340. I think this one is worth a shot. At overtime, could we see the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres go to OT? We've seen the Sabres lose a lot of games in overtime over this losing streak. And I could see with how the Rangers are playing, they don't instill a lot of confidence in me that either of these teams can win it in regulation. So the Rangers versus the Sabres is plus 310 for overtime. You guys know my thoughts on that overtime bet. As soon as the books are putting it at plus 310, it has such a stronger possibility in my mind to cash than a plus 340. But I'm going to take both of these games tonight to go to overtime. If you just want to play the dogs, I do think at least one of these dogs ends up cashing tonight. But I think the better way to take it, instead of taking the Sabres and the Anaheim Ducks, is to look at the Rangers game and the Sabres game to go over. That's what's been happening between these two teams. They've been allowing these goals. And then look at the Anaheim Ducks and the Ottawa Senators to lock down on the defensive side and stay under. Now, could they go over? They could if John Gibson doesn't have a good night, but I think Allmark will have a good night. So it could be a 4-2 win there for the Ottawa Senators, and they cover the puck line if that happens. But I'm having faith in John Gibson to come out nice and strong. So quick recap, you guys, because I basically did it there. So the under 6 at minus 105. Okay, so we're seeing those lines move to the 6. I like that, you guys. I really do think it's a 5-goal game. So if you want to alt it to under 5.5 and get some plus money and sweat it out with me, that's where I'll be going. If I can't get, if you can get a 6, yeah, take the 6 because then you have the push opportunity. But if you can't get that and your book only does 6.5 and 5.5, I'm going to be sweating out the under 5.5 because you guys know I love freaking chasing plus money. So that is where I'll be going. Recap time at the 13-minute mark, the New York Rangers versus the Buffalo Sabres. I can't trust either of these teams, long story short. The value is on the home dog here in the Buffalo Sabres, but this team has lost their last 7 straight. I am expecting offense to do what offense does between these two teams and get those goals on the board, lighting the lamp. I will take the over 6.5 in this one. I do think the Buffalo Sabres, with how they come out strong in the first period, could take this first period here. I would be looking at that first period to go over 1.5 goals at minus 130. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 164. Was it sprinkle on the Sabres on the money line in the first period? When they go down in this one, depending on the value that I'm getting, I'm really hoping the Sabres go up 4-0 over the New York Rangers, and then we can come back in on the Rangers plus the 2.5, because I do think they'll get back into this. The Sabres have shown us that their defense cannot hold anyone off in these games, and then we're going to be able to middle this on two teams that really you can't trust out there. So that will be my game plan in this game, live watching it. I'm going to take Panarin for the assist. That's coming in at minus 125. I like him for the goal as well at plus 155. Remember, 5 assists and 5 goals over the last 10 games. Last game, he had 7 shots on goal. The Buffalo Sabres are allowing, 32.8 shots on goal per game. So those shots are coming by him. I think they're also coming by Chris Kreider. I think Adam Fox you can look at as well. Adam Fox has 22 assists on the season. Chris Kreider for 3+ shots on goal at minus 114. Take it up to 4+. Don't go any higher. That's coming in at great plus money. Again, the over 6.5. And then for Buffalo, Tag Thompson for the goal at plus 150. 6 goals in the last 10 games, 15 goals and 7 assists on the season. Jason Zucker as well, 7 goals and 13 assists. I'll look at both of them you can parlay their points tonight. I like that. The Anaheim Ducks and the Ottawa Senators. The Senators a huge favorite at home, but the Ducks did win the last meeting 4-3, and they won the 2 prior. So won the last 3 matchups here. It's John Gibson in net here for the Anaheim Ducks. I think I'd take a chance on the Anaheim Ducks plus the 1.5 at minus 122 before I look at the Buffalo Sabres, because again, I think both games have the opportunity of going to overtime tonight. This game to go to overtime coming in at plus 340. The Rangers and the Sabres at plus 310. I will look here if this goes to overtime. Live betting it depending on how these teams are playing. So stay tuned to my X, because I will put out there what I'm betting if both of these games go to overtime from what I'm watching in these games. But give me the under 6.5. I think this is 2-2. Again, if you're getting a 6 at minus 104, I love it. If you're getting a 5.5 for plus money on your book because they're not giving you the 6, I absolutely love it as well. I think 2-2 going into OT. The Ducks defense is really locked down out there on the road, only allowing 2.36 goals per game. The Ottawa Senators will have Allmark in goal, and we just need John Gibson to put his share of the saves on the board. So you guys, that is what I'm liking. Good morning to each and every one of you today. I really appreciate you guys hitting that like, hitting that share, hitting that retweet button. We'll be back tomorrow. Loaded slate, so buckle up. We'll have to sit down for at least an hour and 15 probably to get through all of tomorrow's slate. Then we'll have another light slate on Friday. Just one game up on Friday, which is a good thing. I got a Christmas party to go to Friday night, so I'm going to have to get ready. But yeah, one game on Friday. Again, great slate on a Saturday. So make sure you turn on those notifications. Join me here on SportsGrid TV on X every single day, you guys. Noon Eastern. You don't want to miss it. We're going to talk hockey every single day of the regular season and into the playoffs. So you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here with me today. Again, I'll see you tomorrow. Let's make some freaking money. Stay tuned for my Cup of Joe. We're going to talk some college basketball today. See you soon.